Hey y'all, what's up? Hi guys. We're trying out this new. Hey y'all, what's up? We're trying out this new time for live videos. I don't think I've ever gone live at like 12 o'clock. So we're gonna see how it goes. We're gonna see if y'all are even available. Okay, we're gonna see. All right. So anyway, hey y'all, what's up? Today we're talking about the kind of the messy middle of business. Um, And some of the things that I wish I would have known whenever I first started out, even like a few years in, some things I wish I would have known, etc. And if you guys are just curious, I'm filming on both Instagram and YouTube. So if I'm looking down or up, whatever, you get the point. I'm filming on multiple places or recording on multiple places for this live video. And so anyway, y'all, today we're talking about some things that I wish I would have known whenever I first started out, as well, like I said, as like when I got into business more. Some things I just wish I would have known as a whole. And so, if this is for if you are here, I hope this is something that you want to. What am I doing, y'all? That you are interested in and that you want to know about. But I want to know from you, what are some things that have been kind of challenges for you, like in the beginning stages of your business, even as of now, as of currently, like what are some things you're currently struggling with? We can kind of talk through those as well. And so, anywho, we're going over like all types of stuff. We're going very high level. This is not specifically just about content or just about, life as a YouTuber, or this is about like all types of stuff. Like we're really high level, okay, as like the business owner type of perspective here, okay? So anywho, first and foremost, one thing that I realized was like business can it can seem like this like glamorous thing to do. Like it is amazing to have a business. And while it is, okay, while there's a ton of benefits to having a business, y'all, is also a lot that goes with it. There's a lot of management, there's a lot of things you have to be accountable for. There's a lot of things that you have to do in order for you to like actually see it grow and for you to stay in business. Like having a business and staying in business are two very different things. And so anyway, that's like hey y'all, what's up? So yeah, that's like a huge thing to note. So whenever it comes to like actually managing your business, one thing I realized is that business can be simple, but it isn't necessarily easy. And so if we walk into business thinking that it's going to be like this, like smooth sailing, easy thing to do, oh, we have a business, boop, 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 all this stuff, then we already are walking in with like false pretenses, and that's a great way to burn out real quick. And so I'm saying all that to say is whenever it comes to starting your business, and whenever it comes to manning your business or womaning your business, whatever, whenever it comes to running your business, I will definitely say one of the biggest things that I've realized is that it can be easy, but it's not simple. Or sorry, it can be simple, but it's not necessarily easy. So if I walk into it with a mindset of like, okay, parts of this is going to be challenging. Parts of this is going to push me to a level that I've never had to go before. If I walk in with that mindset, it's way easier for me to have that expectation. Like my expectation has changed. You know what I mean? You see what I'm saying? So anyway, that's one of the biggest things that I've learned is just like adjusting your expectation from the beginning. Just because you want to have a business, just because your favorite influencer, your favorite entrepreneur, your favorite YouTuber, whatever has a business doesn't mean that it's easy. Again, there's a lot that goes into it whenever it comes to running your business. And so if you are currently in a struggle phase, if you're in a phase where you're like, yo, this is a lot, like know that you're not alone. And kind of like bouncing on that, one of the biggest things that, kind of like my second point, one of the biggest things that I've realized is the power of community. The power of community whenever it comes to like running your business. So I always say, like, I have bought I've paid for all of my business friends. And why the heck do I say that? It's literally because I have met every single business friend that I have today, I've met through a coaching program. We were in a paid container that we paid for with someone else, but we met because we were in the container together. And so, anyway, having community is so key because yes, it's key to have a mentor. Yes, it's key to have a coach. That's a whole different topic. But whenever those moments come where you were like, oh my God, I'm ready to quit, I'm ready to be done, this is too much, whatever, you have those people who know what your end goal is and that you were transparent with that can like talk you off the ledge whenever you're on the ledge of throwing your business down the drain. You know what I mean? Because it is a lot. Like I said, it can be simple, but it's not necessarily easy. And so anyway, that's another big point. It's just like the power of community. And then also like not underestimating the fact that like growing your business, managing your business operating your business, all that can be lonely, especially if you come from corporate America where you're used to having, or just in general, you're just used to having coworkers to bounce ideas off of, to strategize with. Hey, and so you're used to that. But like whenever it comes to your actual business, it's you. You know what I mean? Your coworker is you, yourself, and you. You know what I mean? And so that's something that I've had to realize. And of course, like as you hire people, as you bring people onto your team, you have them as your coworkers, but it's very different. It's very different. At least for me, it was very different because, oh my God, my dog in the background. What I experienced was like as a business owner, like your employees are going to relate to you differently than if you were like side by side. And like, though I want my team to know they are side by side with me, naturally in their minds, that's not what they're thinking. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you can be friends with your boss, but you also got to, be a little wary of like what you're saying and stuff like that because they cut your checks. You know what I mean? So it's kind of the same thing that I've noticed. So I think the biggest way that I've combated this is actually having business friends where I can like rely on, I can talk to them. They have pretty much become like my coworkers. One of them literally just called me right before we went on live. So anyway, that's a point that I wanted to be sure to mention was like the loneliness that kind of can come from being a business owner. Now, none of this is to discourage you. It's more so to help you understand that you're not alone. If you are feeling lonely, if you are feeling like, like on an island by yourself, if you're feeling like, oh my God, this is hard. You know what I mean? Like I want you to know that you're not alone and that this is most likely a normal feeling. You know what I mean? It's most likely a normal feeling. It doesn't have to be, you're not by yourself. You're not alone. And then the next thing is, here's one of the biggest things that I've learned, okay? Specifically when it comes to your marketing and your sales, okay? If you want to stay in business, you have to focus on your marketing and your sales. You are not going to stay in business if you don't focus on your marketing and your sales. That is how you make money. That is how you keep your business and the lights on, okay? And so one thing that I realized is there are a ton of different methods that can work for you, but you have to choose the one that works for you well. Just because there's thousands of different ways that it can work doesn't mean you need to go after all 1,000 of them. You need to find one that works for you, your lifestyle, your business model, like your revenue growth, like what you want that to look like. You pick one and you work it. You work it. A lot of times it's not that the method didn't work. It's just that you didn't work it long enough. Or maybe you do have a method that you need to try out differently that doesn't work with you and your business. So a while back, I had a method that we were doing like a webinar strategy. That doesn't work well for me. I'm a people person and I love to get people on the actual phone. If I can get you on the phone, then we're in business. You feel me? Like whenever it comes to an actual like sales call or a next step call, etc. And that's one thing, once I realized that was working for me, I doubled down on that rather than trying to force this webinar strategy, this like overly complicated funnel, trying to force that. I was like, nah, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. So anyway, find a method that works really, really well for you and stick with it. There's a ton of people online teaching you how to do all X, Y, and Z things, a whole bunch of programs and courses and all that stuff to teach you how to do X, Y, and Z. But you have to make sure that whatever method you're sticking with, one aligns with who you are, one aligns with your values, aligns with where you want to go, aligns with like your growth metrics, aligns with all these different aspects, and also is simple enough for you to execute. You also have to know too, and this was another mistake that I made, was a while back I tried this really complicated funnel. Okay. And while the funnel was genius, like the coach genius, love her, would still recommend her. But one thing that I noted was I didn't have a huge team at that time. I think we were a team of 3 at the time. And so to implement everything that we needed to implement for that funnel to work was not feasible. And so that's why I'm saying like pick a system that works really, really well for you and work it, but also make sure that you have the bandwidth to actually implement on that system. So one thing I always ask like coaches, if I'm joining a coaching program, how many people does it require on my team for us to pull this off and pull it off sustainably and consistently? Okay. So for us, we use a very like simple model. We go with simple marketing. Why? Because we don't have this huge 20-person team. You know what I mean? And so that's something that I realized over the time was like, okay, this method that I was using, that complicated method, was, again, it was genius. It's an amazing method. It works really well, right? But that works really well for the people that have the teams to man that. I don't want to do that. Like, I just don't prefer to spend the majority of my time managing people. I'd rather be in the kind of like the CMO seat in my business, the chief marketing officer role in my business, rather than me like managing people to then do that. Because as a business owner, I I get to be the person that is putting out majority of the content, right? So though I'm putting out this content, that doesn't mean I'm going to be the one who repurposes it, who actually posts it, who edits it. You know what I mean? So it's like, it just kind of depends. So that's another thing that I've realized too within business is that you are going to wear a ton of different hats, right? And that's why I can feel like business is a lot. You can feel like overwhelmed in a lot of times. So one of the things that I also realized was have like schedule in times in your calendar where you can rest. I had the other day, I was on the phone with a potential prospect that had reached out. We were on a next step call. And the one thing she had asked me was like, why have you not been posting on YouTube as much? And I walked her through that because for us, one thing that I tell my clients is, listen, as the business owner, as the chief content creator, you need breaks. Your brain is not designed for you to literally be in creation mode all the time. It's literally not. And so taking content breaks and not doing it like, you take 8 months off. That's not a content break. That's just you not creating content. That's not a break. You know what I mean? But I'm talking about content breaks where it's very notable to your audience where you're like, hey, we're going to be gone for 2 weeks. I'll see y'all when I get back. You see what I'm saying? Like, but you like for us, what we do every single year, and I walk my clients through this too. I'm like, block off your time that you're going to take away from your business. Why? Because just because you love it, just because it's something that you love to do doesn't mean it's not something you won't burn out on. So take time off. Take time off. One thing that we will do and we will always do is have content breaks. We will always have content breaks, okay? That is something that we will always do. We will stick by. Why? Because I want to keep my brain creative. I want to keep these ideas flowing. If I'm always in content creation mode, I also have to remember I'm not just the content creator. I'm the business owner. So there's a lot of other things that are going on within my business that I get to also tend to. You know what I mean? And so will I be taking content breaks? Absolutely. Do I advise you to take content breaks? Absolutely. Now, is a content break a 6 month, 8 month stint? It could be for you, but that's more of just you stop creating content for a while. You know what I mean? That's different. Call it what it is. That's fine. That's totally fine. So anyway, that's another thing that I realized, kind of like within all of this thought process and all of that stuff. Okay. Another thing that I have like a little outline thing that I like listed all these things I want to talk to you guys about. Another thing too is that breakdowns and like feeling like you're a failure within your business can happen in waves and is more likely happening to people you don't even know that's happening with. You think it's like from the outside, it's like this super successful business, which it is, and it possibly could be, right? But as a business owner, with you wearing a ton of hats, y'all, there's several moments, I'm not going to say a lot, there's several moments where you're like, what in the world am I doing? You going into entrepreneurship is probably one of the craziest things. It's one of the craziest ideas ever. You're putting yourself out there. You're working crazy amount of hours for something that you don't even know is going to work. You know what I mean? It's like entrepreneurship really is crazy. It really is very crazy. Okay. But breakdowns, and feeling like you're a failure within your business and like ready to quit is very it's common. It's common. I was in a coaching program with $1 million business owners, like $1 million business owners that I've seen online, that I follow, stuff like that. And once you get in the same room with them, where we're all really talking, we all realize, we all done felt the same thing. You know what I mean? And so I'm thinking, they don't ever struggle with mindset issues. They don't ever struggle with, anxiety. They don't ever struggle with, oh my God, what if I don't have my numbers? They never struggle with that because they're successful. But that's not true. Like the thing is like as you get to new levels, there's new things that happen. There's new barriers that you jump over. One thing that happened to me last year is we entered into a new tax bracket. Thank God for that. But also, wait a minute. Hold on. What? And so that was something that we had to kind of come to terms with. It was like, okay, well, we got to readjust how we doing our taxes because wait a minute. Oh, okay. Anyway, that's just a thing that I wanted to mention. Like, no matter where you are in business, no matter if you're just starting out, if you are having 10K months, 20K months, 50K, whatever, wherever you're at, there's always something that's going to get you at that level that can either break you, that can like make you stop or whatever. There's always these things that are going to come against you. Just because you get to a certain level doesn't mean you're not going to battle certain things, right? So that's something that I realized. Was like, I'm not alone in how I feel. And this is a normal part of the process. If you walk into business and you're like, this is about to be easy. I'm about to live a glamorous life. laptop lifestyle. I'm gonna be on the beach every day. Boo, what? Not in the beginning. Not maybe eventually. Most likely, let's speak them into existence. Most likely within your business, yeah. But in the beginning, nah, that's nah. Unless there's something else I don't know about. But for me and the people that I've known and my coaches, we've all started in this like, you know what I mean? It can be a little gritty at times, and that's okay. But like walking into it with an expectation that it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be like, you know what I mean? It's not this like lilies and roses type of situation. Like noting that like, yo, this may be hard. This may be a little tough for a minute. Like walking into it knowing that, it flips your perspective. And so that way, whenever tough times happen, whenever hard moments happen, you're not like, oh my God, woe is me. No, you're like, oh, I expected this. I expected this to be hard. I knew what was in front of me. I knew there was going to be a moment where mindset tried to get me. I knew there was going to be a moment when life happened and I had to still run my business despite of. I knew that. And so walking in with that like mindset of like, okay, cool. You know, that's just something that's something right there. Okay. Here's another thing is having the thought process of like everyone else is hitting their goals, making so much money, doing all these things, all these amazing things. Why, like, you know, why not me? Like, why isn't that happening for me? That's a very common thought. And let me tell you something. I've experienced this time and time again where there are so many situations. Here, this is what I'll say. Don't compare your situation to anyone else's. You don't know where they're at, what has allowed them to get there. Okay? I have friends who say they're married, and if they wanted to, they don't have to work if they don't want to. And so yes, they're a full-time entrepreneur, but they don't have the same responsibilities that you may have. Okay? They're not having to keep up a mortgage, keep up, you know, with like all the bills because their husband taking care of that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, get it. You know what I mean? But I'm saying all this to say is you never know what someone is, what someone else has that is enabling them to go out and do what they're doing, right? So say this person decided to sacrifice and stay at home for 5 years after college. They saved up a ton of money and then they use that money to then go invest and make their business bigger, right? All I'm trying to say is like, don't ever catch yourself in a place of comparison, especially within business, okay? You don't know their situation. You don't know. You don't know. They could be like making $1,000 a month, but they're a full-time entrepreneur. So you're coveting what they have. And it's like, bro, I wouldn't do that if I was you. You don't know. You have no idea. And so anyway, think of it like that. Like you never know the situation that the person's actually in to allow that. You never know what they sacrificed to get there. So if you're not willing to take the same sacrifices that person did to get where they are now, then you cannot sit there and like realistically be jealous of what they have or find yourself in comparison against what they have either. You see what I'm saying? And so just think of it like that. You don't know. You don't know the situation. Okay? You don't know that. And so it would be silly to sit there and stay in comparison of that. Also, here's the thing when it comes to revenue versus profit. You can have a huge overhead and only be profiting 10%, 20% of what you're making. That's different. So what somebody makes versus what they're profiting is very, very different. And so that's another reason why you y'all just trust me. Comparison truly is a thief of joy, specifically, especially whenever it comes to business. Okay? Mind the business that pays you and stay on the path, stay on the course that you're supposed to be on. Allow yourself to walk in that. That's huge, okay? So lock and focus and just go. And just know, like, the biggest thing that I want you guys to get out of this is that there really is a messy middle. There's a phase where you're going to be putting all this work in. You're going to be putting all this work in and you're like, what if this doesn't work? But my question is, what if it does? What if it pays off? What if you don't see it in, like this year? But what if you see it next year? What if you see it 2 years from now? One of the biggest things I can say is do something that you can do every single day. Because the people that make it are the people that stay consistent, that are in it for a while, that can do it 10 years down the line. That's where the juice comes from. A lot of times we see these like overnight success, but really, when have we ever seen a true overnight success that wasn't built in time and past, right? Maybe that person is amazing on YouTube. Maybe that person is amazing at digital marketing, but you had no idea they've been in corporate America doing digital marketing for billion-dollar companies for 10 plus years. But yet they start their company and they blow up and you're like, oh my God, overnight success. And it's like, no, that was not an overnight success. That was 10 years of hard freaking work that they worked in corporate America to then apply that to their actual job. Do you see what I'm saying? And so, yes, overnight successes are not a thing. Put in the work. If you decide to start a business and you want to stay in business, I highly recommend for you to do it in something that you can literally, you love, something that you will enjoy doing, even if you don't see the payoff immediately. If you don't see the payoff for 3 years, will you still do it? If you don't see the payoff, shoot, in 5 years, will you still do it? Right? And I'm not saying like stick with a strategy that doesn't work. That's not what I'm saying. Like, see if you can twist it, see if you can tweak it. What I'm trying to say is, if that one thing, so say you decide I'm going to build a YouTube channel and I'm going to literally be a full-time YouTuber, right? There's several different strategies that you can use in order to get there. You see what I'm saying? But the goal is to be a full-time YouTuber. So you can try all these different strategies and then still end up as a full-time YouTuber. But the thing is, it's like, when have you ever seen somebody, there's maybe like, I don't know, a few people, when have you ever seen a situation where somebody's posted one YouTube video and then just became viral, right? There's one girl that I can think of, but her thing wasn't an overnight success. She used really good keywords. She knew what she was doing in terms of SEO. She knew the platform. So it was not an overnight success. So all that to say is, put in the time. Don't be afraid of putting in the time, especially within your business, especially if this is something that you're interested in, that you want to continue long term. Put in the work. This stuff ain't easy, okay? We out here dancing on reels and doing TikTok videos. I'm gonna be honest, that stuff is really fun for me. I enjoy filming reels. I enjoy that. I enjoy getting on live video with you guys. But that does not mean that every other step of the business is easy, right? That doesn't mean that. That doesn't mean that it's easy for me to set aside time to even get on live. That doesn't mean it's easy for me to film like the reels and stuff like that. There's a lot of like back end work that goes, whenever I film reels, I film them in batches. I film like 30 reels at a time. How do I do that? I take time and I script them out in advance. So I take a whole day scripting them out in advance. And then I take time to edit them afterwards. Or my team edits them, whoever, somebody edits them. Somebody gets them all together. What I'm trying to say is be willing to do something that you can stick it out with for a while. Okay? That's where the true success comes from, is discipline and consistency within your business. So if you are in a phase where you're like, yo, this is tough. This is a lot. Just know you're not alone. Just know most likely all of us have been there. Okay? I have been talked off the throw your business in a river and walk on type of ledge several times. Okay? Several times. Especially within the last year. Which is why being around community, specifically being around people that understand. Because your parents might be like, yeah, like quit all that and go get you a real job. What? That's very different. Just because I'm struggling doesn't mean I need to go get a real job. You know what I mean? Just because I'm like, I don't know what to do on this decision, doesn't mean that the answer is go get a real job. That's why you have to be in community of people who understand, that can then say, okay, what are you doing now and what can we do to get you where you're wanting to go? But you're still going to go hard in your business because that's what you want. That's your long-term goal. Do you see what I'm saying? There are people that will just tell you to quit, and that's never the answer. So for me, is if I'm talking to somebody, they already know that the precedent is I am not stopping. I'm coming to you with advice of what I do to get to the next level, not do I quit or not. So that's not an option. So with that on the table, now what do I do? What are your thoughts? Do you see what I'm saying? So yeah. Yay! Good. Okay, perfect. So anyway, you guys, that's it. I just wanted to talk to you guys about the messy middle. I know it can be challenging. It can be stressful. It can be a lot. It can be hard. But it's also very rewarding. One thing I will say is having a business and having something to rely on, even if you are, say you're 9 to 5 and you don't plan to quit your 9 to 5 and you just have a business, here's my thing. One thing about one income is it's too close to zero. They can lay you off within the freaking quickness. And I am so thankful that within my full-time job that I had a business to rely on whenever a layoff happened that wasn't performance-based. It wasn't nothing. It is out of nowhere, okay? So anyway, it's worth it. Keep going, especially if God has put this business on your heart. I want to encourage you to keep going after it. It doesn't mean it's going to be easy. It doesn't mean you're not going to have hard nights or some hard days or some mindset drama or all types of stuff. But I am telling you, it will be worth it in the end if you stay with it. As long as you're doing something that you can continue to do time and time again and stay consistent in it, I promise you it'll be worth it. So anyway, I love you guys from the back. If you guys are interested, I've had a lot of interest in my actual Infinite Audience program, which is my signature group coaching program. If you are interested, I want you to come DM me on Instagram and let's have a conversation to see if it's a really good fit for you, and then we can go from there, okay? So I love you guys from the back. If you're interested in Infinite Audience, I have the link here on the screen. So if you don't have Instagram, don't worry. There's some people who don't have Instagram and be like, oh, well, I can't reach out. No, here's the link, okay? The wait list is open. However, maybe there are some spots available for you. I don't know. So here's the link right there. If you guys want more details on Infinite Audience. Instagram, you're probably like, what the heck are you pointing at? I know. I'm talking on YouTube. But on Instagram, if you DM me the word infinite, then I will shoot you over a link and we can have a conversation about the program and stuff like that to see if it's a good fit for you. So anyway, you guys, I love you to the moon and back. You guys are amazing. If you have not seen my YouTube video from yesterday, go check it out. It's my content creator game plan that I'm doing for all of 2023, and live videos are a part of it. So anyway, go check it out if you want to know, and I will see you guys. When are we going live again? Next Wednesday. So I'll see you guys on Wednesday, as well as I have some other YouTube videos coming out and some other Instagram posts. I'll see y'all on social media, okay? I'll see y'all around. Okay, I love y'all. Bye.